Alright, so this is another self-guided virtual tour of Cahal Pech, which is up near San Ignacio. And here we go. Coming along, there's this half-excavated place on the left. And I kind of cheated this time. I did a pre-tour, did the still shots, and then now I'll just wander around and do the video. Again, we're going guideless here. I just not using any professional local wisdom of what's going on, so we're just gonna interpret it ourselves as we go here. Feel it's kind of more natural that way, then we can find out the real history. You know, if anyone decides to come here themselves, you can pay someone to walk you through and tell you the whole real history of the place. So if you're watching this, you get to see my interpretation of what's going on here instead of what the official explanation is. So here we got some sort of a stand. Looks kind of Jaguar-ish like decoration going on there. Don't really know what's going on. There's a bunch of stuff in behind there again. This big wide open plaza. A bunch of trees and grass, and over there's a bunch of really steep stairs and stuff. We're not going to climb around on this tour with this because it's raining and the limestone's really slippery, so I don't want to fall while I'm trying to film here because it's not very fun. And so here we go. This is the interesting building because it's not like all the other ruins that are obviously temples. The other places all have really steep steps and some sort of a place on top where they're going to sacrifice people or do some sort of thing, and whatever else they do. This place is very different from those places. These stairs here, very wide and kind of tall. Kind of looks more like a spectator stadium type seating. Wow, it's definitely getting slick in the rain here. And then we come up to this building, got a big arch. We come into this main square, and let's see here. Gotta be careful with these steps because they're, again, really slippery as well as at non-regular spacing. So what we have here is we've got 4 different buildings facing on a square. They're all very similar. Come up into them. Some of these have the roof caved in. We'll take a look at a couple ones with intact roofs as well here, but basically it's just room after room, and they're all kind of the same. And so the official explanation, I think, something like there's where a bunch of rich guys lived here. They just sat here doing rich guy things. But let's see, we're gonna cross down into the left. I think was where some of the best intact buildings. Or is it this way maybe? Maybe we'll, whoa, definitely slippery. Take a quick walk over here. And here we go. Here's your, oh, there's some super steep steps that go up to the top. Maybe we'll take a trip up there in a moment. First we want to get to what I think is the purpose of this place for real. So we wander around here, and here we actually find examples of sort of arches. Kind of have the roof goes up until they could find a rock big enough to fit crosswise, because again, these guys didn't use any steel or bronze or anything. They only used rocks and sticks and hit them together to make stuff. So they felt the metal was the excrement of the gods, apparently. So they didn't want to touch it because they thought it was God's poo. So here we go. Come along. Here's our first example. We'll see if it's bright enough so you can see. What does this look like? I don't think this is, and this is pretty much the whole place. It's just lots and lots and lots of these, which leads me to believe that this is in fact granaries and a big, like a commodities exchange where they just trade rice and beans and corn and stuff. And they just have, you know, dozens of warehouses full of it. and they just traded it with each other. That's my suspicion. This is not just a pleasure palace or a what do you call it? Oh, these are some where one staircase meets another at 90 degrees mid staircase. These guys don't use platforms like we do for safety. They just make really steep steps that go where they want them to go. So you definitely gotta use a 3 points of contact type climbing technique here, especially when it's pouring out. And one of them somewhere around here looks like an oven. It's got like a what we think might be smokestacks. Over here we got, that's some kind of drainage. The grate's obviously added for safety now. And we just have more and more of these rooms that you just gotta be just granaries, cold storage for keeping your flowers dry and stuff, and your rice. See, it's more of that. There's another little room, and oh, that's a little dead on that one. Another one that's like that actually goes into another room. So that's pretty much gives you the idea of what's going on here. I'm gonna shut off the camera and put it away before trying to climb up to the very top because it's steep and wet. All right, thanks.